Well, let's see if the Hinomoto Tractor will start. Well, the old Hinomoto, or Southern Tractor, rebranded as a Southern Tractor, has been sitting here for, I'd have to look back at the videos. I bet it's been 2 years since I ran it. It needs a radiator. I've got one for it. I just have not had the time to put it in because we're gonna have to modify. I could not find the actual radiator for it, and anything I was gonna buy was gonna have to be modified. So I think I bought one for a Civic, Honda Civic, because it was about the cheapest thing I could get. And if I'm gonna have to modify anyway, I might as well just go with cheap. But it really needs to be started. I'm not gonna, it's still kind of low on the list, but I hate letting it just sit. So we're gonna start it up just to run it, you know, just so it can run a little bit. We can't run it long because this radiator, I drained it. I had water in it because the radiator's junk, and so I've drained it, so there's no coolant in it. So we'll just run it for a minute or two, but I want to see if it'll start. I have lost the keys to it. That is the other problem. So we're gonna have to jumper it. So we'll have to jumper the glow plugs, because I'm sure we're gonna have to glow it, and we're gonna have to jumper the starter. So let me get a battery. I think I've got one here that's decent, and I'm hoping it's decent. It's in my other tractor, so I'm gonna go pull it out, and hopefully it's good, and we'll see if we can start this thing up. Well, this one is sitting here, and this is the one that was not cranking over the Ford 2000 fast enough to get it start. I brought it in here and charged it, and then I had charged it on the Ford 2000. It still wasn't cranking it over fast enough, so I put a different one in the Ford 2000. But we've got this one here. It's probably down on cranking amps, and it's probably been 6 months since I put it on the charger, but it's reading 12.3 volts. I think before I drag the one out of the Ford 2000, I'm gonna try this one. Worst case scenario, maybe we'll get an extension cord and get the battery charger out and put it on boost, and maybe that'll get us going. So if you haven't watched the videos on this tractor, they're definitely worth a look. This is probably the worst old start I've done, or the worst condition old start. This was a free tractor I got. The guy's father had passed away, and then it sat for years, and then it was parked under a pine tree, and unfortunately pack rats got in it and had just built a nest. Not only was it covered in pine leaves or pine straw, but the pine straw just kind of sat and rusted everything out. So, you know, the hood's rusted out, floorboards, everything is rusted out on this thing. And the valve cover, the hole under the hood, was just pack rat, and they had eaten into the radiator hoses, and the valve cover had holes rusted in it. The engine was full of water. The engine had roaches crawling out of it and ants. I mean, this thing was rough. Now, I'm gonna bet that there's wasps' nests. So I'm gonna put the camera down and take the hood off and just be real careful so I can look for them. Then I'll bring y'all back. So this valve cover is one I got off eBay. The parts for these things are really hard to find. I had to make a water pump pulley, I had to repair it. I had to weld a section onto it. It was rusted out. The little stator, or alternator, whatever you want to call this thing, was completely locked up. I took it apart and got it freed up, and it actually charges. The intake was completely rotted out. It had a metal air cleaner that was rotted out. So I got this plastic one on it. Yeah, the rocker arms were completely rusted, and so we put some rust treatment, if I remember right, on them and cleaned them up. The oil filter had a hole rusted in it, and that's how the engine got full of water. Like I said, the radiator is junk. The dipstick was completely rotted out. I made this little dipstick tube on a lathe. It's a little tight fitting, so it likes to stick. Oil should be good. I'm not gonna pull it out because the rubber sticks in it. I don't want to deal with that today. It was trying to start on one cylinder, and finally the second cylinder came around, and it was locked up. I got it freed up. So this thing was rough. The lift did not work. I think it was seized, and I got it unseized, but then it still wouldn't lift, and ended up taking it all apart and got it working. And everything works on this thing except the brakes. The brake linkage is completely rotted into. So I did not get that far as to redo that, but this thing, I mean, it's not worth anything. I don't really know what to do with it. So like I said, I did get a radiator for it. Honda Civic radiator that we're gonna have to adapt to make fit. The upper radiator hose housing was completely rotted out, and I just took a flat plate and welded a fitting onto it and put a pipe fitting. You know, just low buck and get this thing back together was kind of the deal. Like I said, it's not worth anything. It's so rough, but you know, if I can use it here for some stuff. It did come with the mower and a disc. So I've got the disc sitting over by the shop. And I mowed a little bit with it, but even keeping the radiator topped off, the cooling capacity is diminished on this thing. It's just really, really rough. Probably plugged with roach nest or something. Probably rats got into it as well. I did put a water pump on it, a new water pump. I was able to find a water pump. Like I said, parts are hard to find on this. The return hydraulic line was rusted out, so I just bent up a piece of conduit. This is a return line. Bent up a piece of conduit with 2 rubber clamps on it. There's no pressure on it. And then the pressure line was rusted out as well. So I've got a hydraulic compression fitting right there. It's made for hydraulics. Going on, adapting up to a rubber line that goes over fitting. I had to, yeah, this thing was a mess trying to get it working. The throttle linkage was completely rusted out, and so it's got a hand throttle right now. Oh, and that feels really stiff, so we'll see. And I don't remember which way is which, so we're gonna have to figure that out. I think that about covers it. So this is our glow plugs. We'll just put battery positive to here, and that'll power both glow plugs. We'll do that for a few seconds, and then we'll jump her over to our starter. I don't have high hopes for this battery. This thing shouldn't be that hard to crank over, so we'll see, I guess. And that fan, I think, is from a Kubota. The pack rats had chewed up the plastic fan that was on it. Like I said, it's worth taking a look at that video if you haven't seen it. So let's see. We're gonna check, make sure it's in neutral. It feels like it. Does not want to shift into gear. Hopefully, transmission's not full of water. It was when I got it. And the plug completely rusted out or broke off in the housing. I was able to chisel it out, but it's got a boat plug in it, and the shifter boot, which I think is where the water came from had a tear in it, so that's why it's got stuff on it. All right. It's shifting now. It's in neutral. Neutral. Safety switch is kind of all, yeah, this is low buck. Don't judge it. So let me hook up our battery and get a jumper wire, and we'll see if this thing will start. I kind of think it will. All right, I got some wimpy little leads. I don't know if that's gonna be enough for the glow plugs, but we will see. Help if I did the right one. Like I said, this is very wimpy leads for glow plugs. All right, let's just see if it'll crank over. I don't think this battery's gonna be good enough. We're probably not passing enough amperage through this wimpy little lead for the glow plugs. All right, let's try again. I think we're only on one cylinder. I don't know which way, I forget which way is on the throttle. Wrong way, I guess. Working. There's our lift. That was rusted off. Oh man. Okay. Throttled it down too much. All right. Let's crank it back up. I've got to find the key to this. I moved. Since I moved, I haven't been able to find it. That works. I don't want to run that water pump too long dry. It is a new water pump. Got a little bit of low dry, but not too bad. Pretty impressive. I just want to make sure the clutch wasn't stuck. Alright. Well, that was easy. Yeah, I just don't want to run. That water pump was kind of expensive and hard to find. So I could put water in it, but I don't want to have to drain it again, and it won't hold it. I wonder why it overheated. The radiator's so nasty. Overheated when I was trying to mow with it. So it was actually holding pressure. I soldered it up, resoldered it. I'm not the best at it, but I did resolder it, and I crimped off leaking core tube or whatever, and then it was holding until it overheated. It built up pressure and it sprung a leak in several spots. So I don't want to put stop leak or anything like that in it, because I don't know, it's not going to help because the thing's already plugged up. So we're gonna, I'll show you what I got for it, and maybe we'll see what it's looking like in this area. But it's not going to be the easiest thing to fit, and we're gonna have to reroute some hoses. I think our opposite sides, if I remember right, or maybe in the center. Let's pull it out and look at it. And I'll show you what we've got, but this is not going to be anytime soon that we're doing this. So this is the radiator we got, and okay, yeah, so the bottom is on the correct side, so that's good. And this is easy to change because I just put a plumbing fitting there, so we could rotate and clock that more towards the center. Our air intake is probably going to be in the way, and we're probably going to have to drop. We might have to, yeah, we're going to have to redo the air intake, but maybe we'll make it come in front of the radiator where it would just be over the battery. Battery sits here, we put the air intake right here, I think is our, and we would just need to extend this hose to come over. I don't think that would be a problem. It's rigged up and how it's mounted anyway. So it's not going to be too bad. It'll sit slightly higher, but that's no problem. Our hood just sits on there. Yeah, what I was worried about was the bottom, and I think the bottom is going to be just fine. Oh, that's what the problem is. Our radiator makes a turn. This one is straight. So yeah, we're gonna have to come this way with the radiator so we can get in there with a tight 90. We've already got a fitting in there to adapt. I couldn't get hoses for this thing, so we had to splice. We're gonna have to make a hard 90 with a hose and probably space the fan out a little bit further, which I think, if I remember right, I took a spacer out. I may have a spacer. No, there's a spacer in there. I don't know. We may have to do something to get the fan closer, because I think we're gonna have to push the radiator this way a little bit to be able, our hydraulic pump is in the way. So yeah, that's where I kind of was stuck, not stuck on this thing, but just needing to figure something out. I mean, if I could weld this aluminum, we would put a 90 coming off of there, but I can't, so we'll have to figure something out there. And I did buy the mounting kit for this, so we've got little rubber isolators and you know, the actual little mounts. So I think we'll make an aluminum, not aluminum, I think we'll make a little frame, a couple different top mounts it looks like, and then 2 bottom mounts. So we'll make some kind of a little frame that'll probably hold the air filter, and then come over here and catch the top. And then for the bottom, yeah, we will probably redo this battery tray, is probably our best option, and just take this junk out of here and put a piece in here that we can mount the bottom radiator to, unless we can come off of those. We might can come off of those, they just may not be, they may need to come this way, and we'll make maybe some kind of a new battery tray. So yeah, it's gonna take some work for that bottom. And then I do have a shroud, I think. Do I? No, I don't. So we may need to come up with some kind of a shroud. May not, as I mean, this should have a whole lot more cooling capacity than that radiator did, so we may be okay. But yeah, this is going to be a problem. I wish I could find some kind of a 90 to put on there. Yeah, looks like, I mean, I don't know, we may have to come out quite a bit, you know, 2 or 3 inches to be able to get something to clear on there. Well, unless we could go under, we might could get it low enough we can go under that pump and then come out and around and redo some of this. I don't know how the steering would get. I don't know. We might could come out here and come up and over. I don't know. We'll see, I guess. But that's why I haven't really done anything with this. It's going to take some time, and I just haven't had time, to be honest. Look at that. What was that? Something died under here. Raccoon, maybe? Huh. Y'all tell me what it is. This thing's been parked long enough for that to just be bones. Possum. I'm guessing possum. So you see what I'm faced with. We're trying to make that radiator fit. If you know of one that fits this, or you have one, I'm not opposed to not using that one. I didn't see anything, you know. I was looking at Kubota radiators that were gonna have to be modified to fit, or modification, maybe not the radiators modified, but some kind of modification to fit. And I ended up, you know, those were expensive, this was cheap, and I was like, let's just go with the cheap option, because either one's going to require modification in the way we mount it to work, you know, in the hose routing. I didn't think I don't think I found anything that came out with a 90 like that. So if you know of anything, let me know in the description below. Not the description. Let me know in the comments below. And then if you've got any ideas on how we can route our hoses, also leave that in the comments down below. And then when I get some time freed up, we will see if we can get this thing mounted and get this thing to be a functional tractor. I think if we do that, and if I find the keys, I think we'll have a pretty good tractor. It's probably down on power. I'm sure it's down on compression, but it hits on both cylinders, so I guess that's all we can really ask for. I'll put a link in the description below to the video on this. I may have a playlist, I can't remember, but at least to the first video of the startup on this, and you can check that out. There's quite a bit of footage on this thing. It took a while, so if you've got some time, check it out. That's gonna do it for this one. Not too bad. Kind of a weak battery, and it started up, so pretty good little tractor. Can't ask for more than that. And we will flip this back up. Keeps water from staying in the seat, and yeah. Oh, and the seat was rotted out too. This is a lawnmower seat I adapted. So again, low buck. I don't have a whole lot invested in this thing. Well, I guess I kind of do, because that water pump was kind of expensive. I think it was about $100 or over $100. I can't remember. Anyway, that's it. I'm babbling. Thanks for watching. Leave a comment down below. Hit the like button and subscribe for more.